starting with the lecture content, what do we have to discuss today is, first we will going to understand the legal, ethical and regulatory issues in IT. Okay, and then access the importance of ethical guidelines in IT. And then we will review the code of ethics in information society or information technology. Then we will going to learn about what is the professional culture in information technology. And then we will evaluate the impact of legal, ethical and regulatory issues in IT on a chosen organization. Okay, so understand what, first of all, as you know, beta, since we all use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and many other accounts, so we may see sometimes people are abusing on post, on getting negative comments, negative messages to each other, spreading hate, and in consequences, people get, different problems and issues with their accounts. Their privacy get leaked, and we see many digital problems nowadays, which were not very common or before, or some of them were not even born when IT was not very handy. So basically IT has a very vast parallel universe, you can say. Okay, in information technology, whenever you are using a software, you have few responsibilities as well as few rights. So you have to take care of your rights as well as your responsibilities. There are legal issues, there are laws on it, that how can you sue any person, or you can be sued on your any action. Okay, so it is not like you're not responsible for your any action when you're using Facebook or when you're using any other platform. Okay, maybe your identity is not revealed, but you are responsible for your any action. Okay, so question of ethics and legality are essential in many industries. Okay, so this is common. When a child is born, he or she is taught how to be ethically good, how to, how to behave, how to talk. There are certain ways which are, which are being taught and which are being observed. If a person is not behaving in a certain way, we say that he's not ethical enough. Okay, this is not ethical behavior. If someone is shouting and abusing, we say this is not ethical behavior. Or if someone is eating with both hands and dirtily, we say this is not an ethical behavior. Why? Because ethics are few rules, few boundaries defined by persons or defined by human beings, you for any action. Okay, so you have different ethics at home, different in school, different at workplace, but there's every organization has few rules which are called ethics or code of ethics. Okay, doctor, teachers, government officials, and business people all have legal and ethical oversight to control how their profession function. Here are the 5 more pressing ethical and legal issues confronting the industry today. Okay, so first is the privacy. Second is, we are going to discuss them in details in coming slides. Okay, second is digital ownership. Third is data gathering, security, liability, and access cost. Okay, so let's start it. Privacy. Okay, Nisma, beta, have you ever, did you ever gone through some such thing on internet or on any using any software that you might feel that maybe your privacy can be breached here?
Yeah, mostly. Like while I'm going to, while I'll approach Google Photos for
Mm.
saving my images online. So, I always have some threat that might be my images get leaked from here and there. So this is my one privacy concern.
Yes, that's very true, and that's very valid, because whenever we are say, even when you use Facebook or any other app, you and it try to sync your photo, sync with your phone. So you sometimes see whenever you open that app, the app is showing the app has access to your gallery, and it shows you, okay, you have few these photos. Do you want to upload it on Facebook? Sometimes it threatens me that, okay, the app has access to my gallery, so they may not be safe. My privacy can be breached. So most of the people have their personal data spread throughout the digital world. Okay, it had happened in the in history that the data of different political personalities, different actresses from showbiz got leaked, and it was a huge scandal for them. Even things thought to be secure, such as email or private accounts, can be accessed by unintended source. Okay, this is also possible, and it had happened that different emails got leaked. So this is a privacy breach or privacy concern from on most of the apps. Whenever I'm using any app, privacy concern is my first concern. So there are few ethical and legal rights and responsibilities of person. Most employees actively check their employee computer habits. Okay, these are the problems. Okay, We are talking about first problem. Privacy has evolving legal implication, but there are also ethical consideration. Do people know how their accounts are monitored? To what extent is such monitoring occur? As computer world point out, privacy concern can easily become a slippery slope, slowly eroding an individual right to privacy completely. Okay, so you don't know that to which extent your phone has been monitored by any app. Okay, this is the main privacy concern. Okay, now we will going to learn about the digital ownership. Okay, first we are going to we are going to discuss problems, and then we are going to see its solutions, that how can we help it, or how can we go through it. The digital mediums have allowed information to flow more freely than before. These exchange of ideas come with a legal and ethical backlash. How can ownership be established in the digital realm? Things can be easily copied and pasted online, which means intellectual property hard to control. Okay, that's why if you have any property, you have few documentation. Okay, for your car you have documentation, so it cannot get stealed. If someone stole it, and you can claim that it's yours. Why? Because you have its authority papers, or you have its registration paper. But suppose you have some property online. For example, you have wrote something and posted it on internet, or you had made a documentary using your resources and utilizing your time, skills, and intelligence, and you have created a content, and you saw it on some other website with a different name. Okay, we may see that there are few quotes by few people, but people paste it and you publish it by their own name. Is it so? Had you ever seen that?
Yes, yes, I have seen.
So this is actually a threat to its ownership, because when a person has wrote it or designed it or created it, he has consumed his all resources. And when it is published on internet, it means anyone can steal it. This is a main concern. Legal notions such as copyright have struggled to keep up with the digital era. Companies in the music and entertainment industries have pushed for greater legal protection for intellectual properties, while other activists have sought to provide greater freedom for the exchange of ideas in digital realm. Okay, so they actually there are two people, two type of mindsets in our society, or in any society in the world. First is as they called that anything which is published on internet is available for anyone. Okay, so anyone can copy it, anyone can publish it. So how, why we say so? Because they say they have a narrative that they say by sharing more, by copying more, it will enhance the publication of it. It will widely spread it. But there is another point of view, the opponent. They say that no, it is an intellectual property of an owner, and it should not be shared or you published without the permission of a publisher or permission of the owner. There are two mindsets working at the same time. Same is with the books. Had you know about pirated editions of the book, digital books?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, we had pirated edition of the book, and there are pdfs of different books. Although when the books are published, very few owners allow it to be on pdf. Because if a book is published on pdf, why someone is going to buy it? Why someone is going to buy the papered edition? No, because a book is just a click away. You just have to download it from internet. So when you download the book from internet, it gives no benefit to the writer, because the writer do not get any money from you. But when you buy it, you pay for it, and the few percentage of your payment is dedicated to the writer. But when you download it, you pay nothing for it, and that's why the writer gets nothing as well. So that is why it is in Pakistan. Even we have a huge concern related to digital ownership. People are not allowing to make a pdf of their books. They want the readers to go and buy it and then read it. So here are two opinions in this regard. One opinion says that okay, it's good if we have, if I allow my book to create in pdf, what will it happen? It will increase the demand of the book, and anyone can read it. It will be accessible to most of the people. There are some people who cannot afford to buy a book. It will help them as well. But there is another opinion about it, that the writer said no, I had spent time, I had spent resources, I will not allow it to be get published. In the recent past, it was a huge scandal of a very famous writer from Pakistan, and she claimed and reported the issue to FIA just because a person got the pictures of her pages from. She just released a book, and a person took pictures of the few pages, few text, and uploaded it on Facebook, and the writer cased her on FIA. It was a very hot issue in the last few days. Okay, so we see that legal notions are as copyright are struggled. Copyright is the same thing. Okay, unfortunately, my light has gone. Mispa, can you hear me? So we were discussing about digital ownership. Okay, how digital ownership affects the property and affects the criteria of any content. So it's a threat for a writer, it's a threat for a publisher. So whenever he wants to publish, he has a threat because he doesn't know. Okay, most of the writers at first place doesn't know that they have some digital rights regarding their property, regarding their intellectual or creative property. So what to do? In many states the digital laws are not very strong. Okay, they are in processing, and in few years, or in less than few years, we will have a very strong set of digital laws. But it is also a threat to a person, especially when it comes to an individual, because most of the time, or since organizations have strong systems of law and order, okay, they have access to good lawyers. But when it comes to a single person, or when it comes to Niswa, or when it comes to Mariam, I don't know what to do. Okay, someone stole my photograph. There is a photograph I captured a year ago. Someone stole it from my timeline. Okay, someone stole someone. Okay, you see on YouTube as well. People stole the content, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So people steal the content of other YouTubers, and it was a huge debate on internet that, okay, if someone created a content, and a person, and it didn't get any hype, it didn't created any hype. So after 7 or 8 years, some other YouTuber came through it, and he had a million followers, and he just stole the idea of that concept and recreated it, and he got a million or billion views. And what actually he actually was earning from that property, YouTube gave him money because of that content. But the content was not his intellectual property, it was intellectual property of some other YouTuber. So as we do not have very strong digital ownership laws, a person who was the actual property holder couldn't do anything. Okay, so data gathering. On some level, everyone know that their online lives are monitored. Okay, we all know that our lives are being monitored somehow. The United States have even passed legislation allowing the government to actively monitor private citizen in the name of national security. Okay, so in US, every single person is being monitored. Why? Because they said that they have concerns related to national security. These measures have revived a debate about what information can be gathered and why. Okay, so this is privacy breaching. This is a threat to data gathering. Okay, you can gather what data is. For example, if you take example of US, okay, US notifies the people that it will start gathering data. Okay, what type of data it is gathering, I must know. Okay, I must know that which data they have from myself. They have my name, they have my age, they have my address, and do they have access to my personal systems? Do they have access to my phone? Do they have access to my private accounts? This is something I don't want them to get access. Okay, I don't want to share my details with them. I don't want to share my details with anyone, with my personal details, my personal account details. So it is a threat to my privacy. And so an individual must know that which kind of data is gathered by which app or which state. The mayors have revived a debate about what information can be gathered and why. This debate applies on a very smaller scale as well, because companies need to consider what information to collect from their employees. Okay, so whenever you go to a company and apply for a job, and if you got selected, they get from few information from you, but but that information is limited. They cannot ask for all the information from you. This is against the law. The issue invokes a question of consent. Do people know what information is being monitored, or do they have a right to know how their data is being used? So people must know how, what kind of their data is collected, and how their data is being used. For example, you came to know about the Facebook scandal, when Mark Zuckerberg admitted in court that Facebook gathers data, or Facebook utilize the data of people, and it was a huge debate, and Facebook was Facebook was sued many dollars, many hundred thousand millions of dollars, because of this activity, because people were unaware of. Okay, security liability. Okay, okay. Do you know any example of Niswa? And any example comes to your mind about data gathering?
Now the thing that clicks in my mind is WhatsApp, but they have made people aware of their new privacy content and everything.
Yes, yes, yes. They have make people aware. And before that, when people were unaware, people create a chaos that no, they do not want WhatsApp to change its policy.
Yes.
Okay, so security liability. In the past, security issues were resolved by locking a door. Okay, what is security? Security is basically you want to keep your things and assets safe. Okay, so what you want, if you want to hide them, if you do not want anyone to access it or go through it, you just keep it hide, or keep it in in some safe place. So you called it, no, now it's secure. You keep your money in your banks, you say no, it's secure. You keep a password or a fingerprint on your phone so that no one can access it. So we say that our phone or our device is safe. Same is about digital things, the digital technology. Digital security is much more complicated. Security system for digital networks are computerized in order to protect vital information and important assets. However, this increased security comes with increased surveillance. So what is surveillance? Surveillance is monitoring, okay? Monitoring through digital devices. All security systems have inherent risk, which means it is a question for what risks are acceptable and what freedoms can be fortified. Ultimately, IT professionals need to balance risk with freedom to create a security system that is effective and ethical at the same time. Okay, so it's an old saying that before lock, key was invented. It's an old saying. So what does it mean? It means that before any problem, a solution was created. Okay, so same is, if I want to secure my devices, and if I want to secure even my laptop, and I have designed a protocol, so which can which can stop anyone to access my computer, then it means if such system can made, its solution can also be made. Okay, so if I can create a solution, someone else can create a solution as well. Okay, so it's all about stronger the security, stronger the threat. So IT professionals, it is important for IT professionals to balance the risk, that which data can be gathered or can be accessed and which cannot. Okay, which data need to be secured and from whom. Okay, access cost. Okay, whenever it comes with security and whenever it comes with safety, the cost is always there. Okay, if you want your house to be safe, what do? You hire a guard. Okay, it costs you. Okay, you want surveillance at your house, so what do? You install cameras. It costs, it costs some money. So, and with security it comes cost. Net neutrality has become a trendy issue thanks to legislative effort in the last few years. The issue of net neutrality is essential a question of access. Okay, okay, so Niswa, here I want you to please read it and think about it. I just want I just want to click on few parts
Okay.
of your mind. Okay,
Yes, done, ma'am.
okay. So let's discuss it together. Net neutrality has become a trendy issue thanks to legislative effort in the last year. So net neutrality means internet should be neutral. And what is being neutral mean? Neutral means same for everyone. Okay. So it's a general trend that internet should be same for everyone. What is meant by internet should be same? It means every person or every firm or every individual or a group must have equal access rights. Okay, so equal
Yes.
access right means, if we give equal access rights to everyone, it means all the websites should be accessible to all the users, no matter they live in which city. All the cost of the all the internet cost should be same to all the people. This is net neutrality. Okay, the issue of net neutrality is essential a question of access. Proponents want the internet to remain open to everyone. Okay, so there are a group of people who want equal rights for all the people on internet, while some business want to create tiered access for those who are willing to pay. Okay, so they said internet should not be neutral. Okay, there should be a version of it which should be neutral, but there should be an extended version for those who willing to pay. If they want to pay, they can have different features. For example, YouTube and YouTube Premium, right?
Yes.
YouTube Premium has many extensive features which are amazing, and you can only get YouTube Premium by paying for it. Okay, the issue
Yes, ma'am.
even extends to private internet usage, since the cost of service in some areas may be cost prohibitive. The larger ethical question is where or not digital exchange is now a universal right. The cost of access can impede business growth, entrepreneurial spirit, and individual expressions. Okay, so please let me know, or please share your thoughts when you read it. What comes to your mind and how did you comprehend it?
I just came through this that people have made it even a business for them,
Mm-hmm.
that not all internet should be given to them, because
Okay,
this is a source of business they can earn through this. For
very.
example, let the on Netflix, they're advertising in a way. They're using YouTube to advertise it, to make
Mm-hmm.
people connect to them. They are
Okay.
not providing a free platform for Netflix. You have to go for subscribing it, and that
Yes.
needs a payment. So
Yes,
this
you're
clicked
very
in
right.
my mind that people have made this a business to
Yes.
earn. So that's why they don't want us to fully make use of internet.
Okay, that's very right. That's very right. Shabash. So this is something, this is the access cost. So if you want to access it, you have to pay for it. So so it is, so somehow it is not neutral. It means a person with cash, a person with money can access it. A person without money cannot. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So understand the current ethical issues in IT. So what are the current ethical issues? Some of major ethical, so they, before we read, they were technical issues. Okay, so now these are personal. First is personal privacy, access right, harmful actions, patents, copyright, trade secret, liability, and piracy. Okay, few issues are almost common for a group and for an individual. For example, privacy, access, copyrights, liability. Okay, few problems are common for individual as well as a group, but few are different. Okay, so ethical, how should we ethically use Facebook? If I say you have to take care of ethics while using Facebook, so it feels you odd. Okay, what kind of ethics I am supposed to do? Do I have to talk nicely? Do I have to greet everyone? No, this is not important, but there are few code of ethics every person should know. So, going back to our slides on privacy policy, personal privacy, due to the distribution of network on a large scale, data or information transfer in a big amount take place, which lead to hidden chances of disclosing information and violating the privacy of any individual in a group. It is a major challenge for IT society and organization to maintain the privacy and integrity of data. Accidental disclosure to inappropriate individual and provision to protect the accuracy data also comes in privacy issue. Okay, so any IT forum take care of the thing that the data must not get disclosed. But in such exceptional case, the privacy issues arises. Okay, we discussed the privacy issue in detail in the previous slides. Okay, any question till
Yes.
now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so moving forward, we have access rights. Okay, e-commerce and electronic payment system evolution on the Internet heightened this issue for various corporate organizations and government agencies. Network on the internet cannot be made secure from unauthorized access. Generally, the intrusion detection system are used to determine whether the user is an intruder or an appropriate user. Okay, so e-commerce has made, our digital banking. E-commerce has introduced digital banking. Whenever you try to, paying digital, what are you doing? You are giving access to your account digitally. So that is why there is a high issue of privacy breaching. That okay, it is a my security threat as well. Network on internet cannot be made secure from unauthorized access. That is why I don't know if at your place do you get the messages, or did you get the emails from your banks that do not provide your banking information to anyone, or if any link is sent to you by email, do not click on it, it's a scam.
Yes, we get SMSs as well.
Okay, yes, same is here. Why? Because we know that our digital apps are not even safe from unauthorized access. Generally, the intrusion detection system are used to determine whether the user is an intruder or an appropriate user. So, if one method to get the update or keep it safe from inappropriate user is the use of intrusion detection system. Okay, harmful actions. Harmful action in the computer ethic refer to the damage or negative consequences to the IT, such as loss of important information, loss of property, loss of ownership, destruction of property, and undesirable substantial impacts. Typically, these actions compromises of intentional destruction or alteration of file or programs which drive a serious loss of resources. To recover from the harmful action, extra time and efforts are required to remove the viruses from the computer system. Okay, so the computer systems get hacked many times. Okay, so
Yes,
why a system is hacked? What do you think?
to get the confidential details.
Very good, to get the confidential. So if sometimes what happened, and a system an email is sent to a person with a given link, and when he clicks on the link, his system got hacked. This is a very normal practice what the hackers do. Okay, so these are the harmful actions. So what are the disadvantages? We get our important or confidential information get lost, and we need time and cost to recover from it. And this is just done to harm the opponent, especially in business. Okay, patents. What is a patent? A patent is a right granted to an inventor by the federal government that permits the inventor to exclude others from making, selling, or using the invention for a period of time. Okay, I made a pen, or I created something, so it's my property. For example, if I create any content, it's my copyright. No one can copy it. So same is for patent. The patent system is designed or encourage invention that are unique or useful to society. What are the problems with patents? Obtaining a patent is very difficult as compared to obtaining a copyright. Okay, so that is why mostly people are for to get a patent, you need time and you have to put extra effort. So if so people it is difficult for a person to get patent. A thorough disclosure is required with the software. The patent holder has to reveal the full detail of a program to a proficient programmer for building a program. So, if I have created a program which can do something other market programmers cannot do. So to get a patent, I have to, show my whole code. I have to tell the programmer, the proficient programmer, complete details, which sometimes I don't want to. So I said, okay, I will not have a patent. If I do not have a patent, if my work gets stole, I cannot do anything. Okay.
Okay.
Same is with copyright. There's a very powerful legal tool in protecting computer softwares, both before a security breach and surely after a security breach. This type of breach could be the mishandling and misuse of data, computer programs, documentation, and similar material. You may have heard of copyrights.
Yes.
Okay. Trade secret. Trade secret is also significant ethical issue in information technology. A trade secret secure something of value and usefulness. This law protects the private aspect of ideas which are known only to discover or his confidence. Once disclosed, trade secret is lost as such, and it's only protected by the law for trade secret. Okay. So for trade secret laws helps you to, if anyone steals your idea and you have a trade secret for it, that if, even by having that idea, that person cannot even utilize it. Okay. Because if he created anything with using that idea, that thing will not get approved by the authorities. He cannot sell it, he cannot publish it. Why? Because he has violated the trade secret law. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Liability. One should be aware of the liability issues in making ethical decision. Software developers make promises and assertions or to the user about the nature and quality of the product that can be restricted as an express warranty. Programmers or retailers possess the legitimate to determine the express warranties. Thus, they have to be practical when they define any claims or predictions about the capacities, quality, and nature of the software or hardware. Every word they say about their product may be as legally valid as stated in written. All agreements should be in writing to protect against liability. A disclaimer of express warranties can be free a supplier from being held responsible for informal, speculative statements or forecasting made during the agreement stages. So whenever launching a product or whenever creating a market for a product, instructions are clearly written before, in the product, that you can use it, you can utilize it in this way and you cannot utilize it in this way. Pros and cons, do's and don'ts are clearly, and they can be legally challenged. Okay, so I was going through a research regarding not regarding actually digital market, but about the business market. So once a woman sued McDonald's. I do not remember, it was it McDonald's or was it KFC, it was one of them, that their coffee is very hot and it burned in her hands. So when once she went to the counter and she said, I don't remember the exactly which franchise it was, so that your coffee is very hot that it burned my hands. So they just laughed at it, that what do you want? What do you expect from a coffee, from a cup of coffee? Do you want it cold? If you want it cold, you have to order cold coffee. So they just laughed away and sent the women back. So after a few years in our research, it was clearly stated that the coffee from that franchise has a temperature 4 degree more than the average warm cup of coffee. That means if it that temperature range was above 4 degrees above the allowed level. And because temperature of coffee in any franchise when it is sold is keep on a specific level. Why? Because if it gets spilled over a person, it may can harm that person. So if the temperature is too high, which a human body or human skin cannot tolerate, it will cause damage to it. So when remembering that woman, that when that woman when the coffee got spilled on it, it just burned her hands. So when this case was took in the court, the women get the updates that okay, so this case is on the court, and she just went their court and stated her statements as well. And the franchise was sued $4 million. The woman get $4 million for it, just for four extra degrees. Okay,
Okay.
so privacy is another concern. I want you to read it, please.
Okay, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay, so there are privacy, copyrights for the softwares as well. Before that, window to install a window, what did we had? We just bought a CD, and the, every Windows CD was, it just supported only three installations. But we had a trick. We just used it twice, and then we use different keys from the internet and use it again and again. So this is why softwares get pirated, softwares get copied, and there are strict laws against piracy of softwares. Okay, understanding current regulatory issues in IT. Okay, okay, there's a task for you, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
So task is you have to evaluate the impacts of current legal, ethical, and regulatory issues in IT on a chosen organization. You have to choose an organization, okay? And what you have to do, you have to evaluate the impacts of legal, ethical, or regulatory issues, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
You have to search from internet, okay? I'm going to share the screenshot